So they depend on the locals to take care of them. So they decide to stop at this man and wife's home. When you're there, you must entertain and feed travelers. And so they come into their home, and the husband and wife say, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We have to accommodate these people. So they let them in, they start to say, hey, what do you have to eat? And they start feeding them whatever they have to eat. This is the vegetables we have, this is the milk we have. Let's go kill the cow so that we can have meat to eat. Sure, the homeowners cannot say no in this situation. So they kill their cow, and for 2 days they eat, and they eat, and they eat, and they eat, pretty much down to nothing. Eventually the entourage says, thank you so much, you've been hospitable guests, hospitable hosts, and they go on their way, and the man and the woman are like, what are we going to do? One scrawny cow, it's now gone, everything we had is gone. Sounds really mean at face value, right? With more of the story, though. So they leave. The man, they live on the edge of a forest. One day he's so desperate, he doesn't know what he's going to do. He walks out into the field out behind him, and he's on his knees. And God, please, please, what am I going to do? God, help me, praying, basically, in that desperate place of praying. He hears a noise off in the field, and here comes this very well-dressed man, and stumbling as if he's drunk. And the guy goes up, oh, may I help you, sir? And so he's helping this man who appears drunk. Well, it turns out he's not drunk, he's very sick. And so our little guy, I think his name was Joseph in the story, let's just say Joseph. He's comforting him, and he's talking to him. And as the guy's getting weaker and weaker, they're both on their knees, and Joseph is soothing his head and helping him feel better, and just being very nice to him. The man says, oh, he says, no, I'm not drunk, I'm dying. I'm very sick and I'm dying. And he says, you've been so nice to me, unlike my own family. My own family, I've always just wanted to take everything from you. He says, I'm out here in the field, and he had a piece of paper in his hand. And he says, I'm out here because I buried my treasures a long time ago, out here in the field. You've been so nice to me, I want you to have it. He gives him the map. So now Joseph has got this treasure map, and a well-dressed man passes away. There's gaps in the story. So then, now Joseph is like, wow, this treasure map, could this be true? He goes and he digs up the spot, and sure enough, there's riches in there to last him for his lifetime. He goes home to his wife, who's got all this gold, all this money, all this goodness. They begin to live high on the hog, they get a new house, they get one of those things that is carried around. What are those things called? All I can think of is a rickshaw, but that's the wrong culture.
Litter chair.
A what?
Litter.
A sedan chair. Oh, that works. Somebody said something else, but you get the idea, like in poles, right? And they're driving or being carried around. They've got servants now, and they're living high on the hog. Turns out that same entourage of Baal Shem Tov, that the ones who ate all of their scrawny cow, they were traveling back through the town. And the entourage sees Joseph and his wife, now with fine clothes and being carried, and wow, what happened with them? And the Baal Shem Tov, the king, the guy who was the wise one, he said, when we were there that time, we had to help them get rid of what they were holding on to so tight, because that was keeping them stuck. So we ate everything they had, which forced them to something greater, so that they can now live the fulfilled life that they were meant to live from the beginning. Wow. I said at first it sounded really neat. The moral of the story is, these people were hanging on so tight to what they thought they had. They thought that was all they had. And in the story, it popped them open to something else. For me, I have to ask myself, what are my scrawny cows? What are my scrawny cows? What are the places that I'm hanging on to so tight because I think that's all there is? Well, that's all there is in terms of money. That's all there is in terms of health. That's all there is in terms of relationship. I'm going to hang on to these things by a thread because that's all I think I have. It's such limiting thinking. Ask yourself, what are my scrawny cows? Now, I'm not telling you to invite somebody over to eat everything in your house. I trust that you understand the moral of the story. You don't have to go get rid of anything. But But do ask yourself, where are my scrawny cows? Where am I holding so tight that I'm really not letting the greater good come through? I'm not letting it flow through because I'm clinging to my scrawny cows. Eric Butterworth, the man that I mentioned a little while ago, I'm going to read something from him. My bookmark in here, the bookmark itself has something written on it. It says, prosperity is who I am. Prosperity is what I eternally reveal. That's on my little bookmark. So, he says, if you have a rheostat on your dining room light switch, okay, a rheostat is a dimmer switch, okay, dimmer switch. If you have a dimmer switch, rheostat, on your dining room light, you have a good example of how the divine flow works. When you turn the rheostat up, you get more light. When you turn it down, the power flowing through the bulb is reduced, which results in less light. There's no miracle involved when the room is suddenly flooded with light. The power is present all of the time. Whether the rheostat is high or low, the power is present all the time. A turned down rheostat is like a consciousness of lack that restricts the flow of substance. A turned up rheostat is like a faith centering that opens the way to an experience of affluence. Perhaps this is an oversimplification, but it may help you to understand the principle and the process involved. It does, because he's telling us that the energy of the electricity for the dimmer switch is present all the time. It's how you use it. That's exactly what we're saying about the divine presence. It's there all the time. It's already here. How are we using it? Are we turning it down real low because we think that's all we deserve? Or are we turning it up high and letting the goodness flow through us? It's up to us. So it really helps to have a visual, doesn't it? It helps to have the visual of the door and the opening. It helps to have the visual of imagining what it is you want coming in and out of your life. It's really good to imagine the door opening. It's really good to have these thoughts of the dimmer switch. All of these things are simply helping us expand our consciousness, which is what I already said is our job to do, is to expand our consciousness. Every single one of those visuals can help you. Tuck them into a pocket somewhere inside of you so that when you're feeling lost, you can use that. You can use the image of the open door. You can use the image of the dimmer switch to remind you, oh yeah, because the expanded consciousness coupled with our faith is our job. That's where our work is to be done. We want to fully see ourselves expressing. We want to see ourselves expressing God's divine goodness to the fullest. Because that's really all God wants from us, is to express ourselves. Some religions teach that you have to do something to please the divine, that you have to please God. God is pleased just simply by expressing, because God ain't a man in the sky who can be happy or sad or mad at you. God is just an energy that says, express all that I am. Express as big as you can. Can you imagine yourself giving and sharing with others? Yeah, that's when I think of what would I do if $1 million popped in my lap. First thing I think of is how much I'd give to the church. The second thing I think of is who could I help. Some people have said to me, "Oh, I don't need any more money." Okay, well, good for you. But you know what? You can do some really cool things with that to help other people. So can I imagine really good coming my way of resources and money and help and love so that I can turn around and share that with other people? For me, that feels like I'm expressing my God self in ways that are beyond what I previously even thought of. The fuller, the better. To let Spirit have its way, as Dennis was singing earlier. Let Spirit have its way. All right, two last words. One is Ernest Holmes. He says, this is kind of an affirmative, almost prayer-like statement from Ernest. So take it in. And then he says, I, let it be yourself. I know. I am now at the threshold of all good, wisdom, and truth. All the good I can embody is now mine. I have only to open the portals of my soul and accept that which is ready to express through me. I expect fully and emphatically the answer to my prayer today. right now, because that's